Attila, frequently called Attila the Hun, was the ruler of the Huns from 434 until his death in early 453. He was also the leader of an empire consisting of Huns, Ostrogoths, Alans, and Gepids, among others, in Central and Eastern Europe. As nephews to Rugila, Attila and his elder brother Bleda succeeded him to the throne in 435, ruling jointly until the death of Bleda in 445. During his reign, Attila was one of the most feared enemies of the Western and Eastern Roman empires. He crossed the Danube twice and plundered the Balkans, but was unable to take Constantinople. In 441, he led an invasion of the Eastern Roman, Byzantine, Empire, the success of which emboldened him to invade the West. He also attempted to conquer Roman Gaul, modern France, crossing the Rhine in 451 and marching as far as Aurelianum, Orleans, before being stopped in the Battle of the Catalonian Plains. He subsequently invaded Italy, devastating the northern provinces, but was unable to take Rome. He planned for further campaigns against the Romans, but died in 453. After Attila's death, his close advisor, Ardaric of the Gepids, led a Germanic revolt against Hunnic rule, after which the Hunnic Empire quickly collapsed. Attila lived on as a character in Germanic heroic legend. Many scholars have argued that the name Attila derives from East Germanic origin. Attila is formed from the Gothic or Gepidic noun atta, father, by means of the diminutive suffix ila, meaning little father. Compare wolfila from wolves, wolf, and ila, i.e., little wolf. The Gothic etymology was first proposed by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm in the early 19th century. Menschenhaufen notes that this derivation of the name offers neither phonetic nor semantic difficulties, and Gerhard Dorfer notes that the name is simply correct Gothic. Alexander Savliev and Chungwon Zhang similarly state that Attila's name must have been Gothic in origin. The name has sometimes been interpreted as a Germanization of a name of Hunnic origin. Other scholars have argued for a Turkic origin of the name. Omeljan Pritsak considered Attila a composite title name which derived from Turkic *es, great, old, and *til, sea, ocean, and the suffix /a/. The stressed-back syllabic till assimilated the front member es, so it became *as. It is a nominative, in the form of a till, *etzel, *estil, with the meaning the oceanic, universal ruler. J. Mikola connected it with Turkic name, fame. As another Turkic possibility, H. Althoff, 1902, considered it was related to Turkish atli, horseman, cavalier, or Turkish horse, and dil, tongue. Menschenhaufen argues that Pritsak's derivation is ingenious, but for many reasons unacceptable, while dismissing Mikola's as too far-fetched to be taken seriously. Sneedle similarly notes that none of these proposals has achieved wide acceptance. Criticizing the proposals of finding Turkic or other etymologies for Attila, Dorfer notes that King George VI of the United Kingdom had a name of Greek origin, and Suleiman the Magnificent had a name of Arabic origin, yet that does not make them Greeks or Arabs. It is therefore plausible that Attila would have a name not of Hunnic origin. Historian Hyun Jin Kim, however, has argued that the Turkic etymology is more probable. Sneedle, in a paper that rejects the Germanic derivation but notes the problems with the existing proposed Turkic etymologies, argues that Attila's name could have originated from Turkic Mongolian Adi/Agda, gelding, warhorse, and Turkish atli, horseman, cavalier, meaning possessor of geldings, provider of warhorses. The historiography of Attila is faced with a major challenge, in that the only complete sources are written in Greek and Latin by the enemies of the Huns. Attila's contemporaries left many testimonials of his life, but only fragments of these remain. Priscus was a Byzantine diplomat and historian who wrote in Greek, and he was both a witness to and an actor in the story of Attila, as a member of the embassy of Theodosius II at the Hunnic court in 449. He was obviously biased by his political position, but his writing is a major source for information on the life of Attila, and he is the only person known to have recorded a physical description of him. He wrote a history of the late Roman Empire in 8 books covering the period from 430 to 476. Only fragments of Priscus' work remain. It was cited extensively by 6th-century historians Procopius and Jordanes, especially in Jordanes' The Origin and Deeds of the Goths, which contains numerous references to Priscus's history, and it is also an important source of information about the Hunnic Empire and its neighbors. He describes the legacy of Attila and the Hunnic people for a century after Attila's death. Marcellinus Comes, a chancellor of Justinian during the same era, also describes the relations between the Huns and the Eastern Roman Empire. Numerous ecclesiastical writings contain useful but scattered information, sometimes difficult to authenticate or distorted by years of hand copying between the 6th and 17th centuries. The Hungarian writers of the 12th century wished to portray the Huns in a positive light as their glorious ancestors and so repress certain historical elements and added their own legends. The literature and knowledge of the Huns themselves were transmitted orally by means of epics and chanted poems that were handed down from generation to generation. Indirectly, fragments of this oral history have reached us via the literature of the Scandinavians and Germans, neighbors of the Huns who wrote between the 9th and 13th centuries. Attila is a major character in many medieval epics, such as the Nibelungenlied, as well as various Eddas and sagas. Archaeological investigation has uncovered some details about the lifestyle, art, and warfare of the Huns. There are a few traces of battles and sieges, but the tomb of Attila and the location of his capital have not yet been found.